All
So,
right,
so
you're back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome back to We Hate More Sports podcast. This week, not solo dolo. I had to bring somebody on this week just to make make it a lot more easier and to not make myself feel more lonely than I usually do. Gianni, you may know him from his talk show, Baseball Talk, Sickball Central. Is also a common voice here on We Hate Sports. G.
yeah. So welcome to Stickball Central. Really, we're going to talk about three topics. It's going to be first the Rays and Orioles series.
Whoa, whoa,
Uh,
whoa, 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 wait.
uh,
Oh, bro, wait, right into segment. We still have to get through the intro,
oh, I messed up.
bro.
Wait, let me.
Bro, bro was so prepared. Hey! I respect. He's very excited. As you can see,
Yeah,
he's very excited to jump into talking about baseball tonight. Um, ladies and gentlemen. But for all of us, that listen to this podcast, that like watching other sports outside of football and basketball, this is for you. Um, and tonight we'll be going over some pretty major baseball news as well. We'll be giving out our predictions on who's going to hit some dingers this weekend, and one more trivia question for C. And then later on, we're going to be reacting to some old takes from the podcasts throughout our history. Because trust me, we've all had at least one horrendous take to look back on. So we'll be doing that. And we'll be going over, of course, best thing we saw last week. So strap in for episode 3 of the We Ate More Sports Podcast. If you're new to our podcast, make sure you follow our socials at WHS_podcast on Twitter and Instagram, and at We Hate Sports on YouTube and TikTok. Make sure you go and check out this week's episode of We Hate Sports, episode 132. We went over this week. Help me out, G, because I can't think. I've been working all day. I know we did go over predictions for Madden 24.
yeah.
Um,
924 predictions, like ratings and everything. Like basically like exact. And some of them were actually correct.
I think some of them
Um,
were better than what the game actually gave them.
yeah,
If
of
if
course,
you're
like
asking
way
me,
back.
if you're asking me,
They
but
should hire us, honestly.
yeah, they should hire us. If you're watching this, EA, go and give us a shout out. But we also talked about who's gonna potentially win NBA Rookie of the Year this year as well. So go and tap in. You can check out everybody in their voices on the We Eat Sports Podcast, episode 132. Um, so yes, let's jump now. We're ready. We're good now. We can jump
Yeah.
into it now. Sick Ball Central, G. So take it away.
All right. Welcome to Sick Ball Central. We're going to be talking about the Rays and Orioles series. That's a big series, 4 game set. They already played one game, playing the second game right now. So that's going to be a huge series. Then we're going to talk about who's going to hit dingers this weekend. Because this is a big weekend for a lot of like hitters because they're playing a lot of bad teams apparently this weekend. So like a lot of dark horses out there. And then for the last thing, there's going to be a trivia question. And it's a sneaky one as well. So to start now, we're going to talk about the Orioles and the Rays. The Orioles basically continue to be a surprise. Last season they surprised everybody. This season they're ready, they're basically like ready for this moment. I think they still need a starter or two in the deadline, but they're ready. And for Tampa Bay, they started 30-9, 13-0 the first 13 games. That was insane. They started 30-9. Since then, their record has been 30-31. And now they fell one game back of Baltimore for first place. PC, I'm not sure if you've been keeping up, but this is crazy. The turnaround and the collapse.
Um, I don't think I've like seen like this. I knew like usually the Rays like every year. are one of the top teams, and they just collapse come September. They even wait till September this year to collapse. Like it's been so bad. Like but we're talking about a team that had a historic start, not just in their franchises, or just a historic start in general. Uh, I believe they were the first team to make it to 60 wins, and they've just been frozen on 60 wins.
Yeah,
This year, and I don't know what's changed. I don't know if the McClanahan injury affected the clubhouse in more ways than we just don't know about. But right now they are asleep. The offense is asleep. The pitching staff is asleep, and they've been taking on top teams in the NL like the Braves and the Phillies, and they've shown like they can't bang with them. And now they're in a fight with the Orioles, to see who's going to be in first place in the AL East. So that's why this series is so important. Just to gauge like who's really capable of being able to lead the AL East into September this year. Because um, if you're asking me right now, the Orioles, they look like a team that at the very least is not going to collapse. The Rays, they're really.
yeah. The Rays look like the Rays. This is the thing I've been like thinking of the Rays. Like the biggest problem with them is that they can't score runs. The past years, they got off to a fire start, and now they basically fell back to earth. And that was one of the biggest issues entering this season. I felt for them, and for them to have that hot start and now they're coming back to earth, it is basically panic time. I think there, if they lose this series, they lose 3 out of 4 is panic time for them. I feel overall, and for Baltimore, this is a great step for them. Honestly, they're actually heading in the right direction. So we'll see if come October if they can learn and find a way to win games in the playoffs and win series because they're a dark horse. Like how I said in my hot take the other day, that they can probably get to the World Series at the end of the day. So we'll see.
I think this Orioles team. What do you think they need to really push themselves to the next level? Like they have the best farm system in the league. That's obvious, but uh, we're talking about a team that's pretty young that have like some really good young talented players. What do they need to really like solidify themselves as like a legitimate World Series team, in your opinion?
They need. I think they need one more starter, 1 or 2 starters. Either they get one starter and then they add maybe a reliever or two, or they just add 2 starters, and I think they're going to be set with that because I think if they get a stronger starting rotation come October, that's going to help them at the end, in my
All right.
opinion, to get over the hump. I think that's the only thing I see. Offensively, they're set. I feel bullpen maybe needs one reliever because if they can't get 2 starters, they can just get one reliever and then get one starter. So like they're they have a lot of options because there's a lot of bad teams, so they're going to be able to get people
Well,
for
I
that rotation. Bullpen.
the this series is currently on going on as we speak. When this episode comes out, who do you think is going to take this series in your opinion? This is a big one. This is a big
I
one.
think I think it's going to be probably a 2-2 split. I feel, but if somebody wins the series, I think Baltimore wins it because Tampa Bay is just in the wrong end of things, and Baltimore is in the right end of things. I feel so. Like
Well,
I think I think it's going to be split, but Baltimore has a better chance of winning the series. How
fair
about
enough.
you, PC?
Um, I would probably go with you on that one. I'd probably take the Orioles to win this series 3-1. And um, I believe it's not. I think it's just a matter of when the Orioles take first place in the AL East, especially if the Rays keep playing the way they are. It's a matter of when the take first place. If they do. Um, I don't know the current standings actually right
They're
now. Um,
they're actually one game ahead, but I think Tampa Bay is winning tonight, so it's gonna be tied.
well, there you go. So I mean, I think that this series, it feels like the Orioles are going to end up taking it. Um, I don't know. The Rays are they're disappointing a lot of people right now, including themselves.
Yeah, they are.
They're asleep. They're just
Yeah,
asleep.
they're asleep at the worst time possible, I think, because now we're almost entering August and September, and you gotta be playing your best during that time. So for the next thing now is who's gonna hit dingers this weekend. PC, I start with you first.
Yeah. So we did this for first episode. Picked out our two
Yeah,
winners. I can't remember who the first guy that I was I picked. I think it was Kyle Schwarber, but I forgot the series it
yeah,
was
I
for.
think it was Schwarber.
Um, but we're going for bragging rights, obviously. So for next week when we do film this again, we can obviously shit talk together about who was right and who was wrong. And I would love to one up the baseball guy. Uh, and it goes into maybe if you're a betting man, you might end up taking well picks. So for this weekend, this just for this weekend, no specific game, just this weekend in general. Um, I'm going to go with Shohei Ohtani to hit at least 2 home runs for the Angels. They're taking on the Pirates this weekend, so already pretty inferior pitching staff. So this team, well, we're talking about the Angels, obviously. Shohei Ohtani, we don't know how long he's going to be an Angel. I think it's only a matter of time before he gets traded, or the Angels start taking uh, great calls about
Yeah,
Ohtani. Shohei's just going to keep doing his own thing. He's probably going to end up winning AL MVP. Might be in the running for AL Cy Young. Just Ohtani stuff that only he can do. Um, and take on a Pirates team that. So many people were so high on the beginning of the year, then they started taking on actual good teams. Um, well, now they're taking on a once in a generation player, Otani. I think he's going to light them up. I am going to call for at least 2 home runs for Otani this weekend against Pirates. And my second guy, I'm going to go actually with Christian Walker of the Diamondbacks. They're taking on the Reds this weekend. And this is a matchup of two really high rising teams in the league. It's actually a battle for NL Rookie of the Year finalists Corbin Carroll and Ellie De La Cruz. So this will be a nice matchup, one that I think we will see in the NLCS for a couple more years. But um, Christian Walker, when you look at his stats the last 5 games, he's only 5 for 26. But in those 5 ABs, 2 home runs, 7 RBIs. So I think that, or I said in the past 5 ABs, in the past 5 games, 2 home runs, 7 RBIs. I think that um, the ball is going to fly. The offense is going to pop out for both of these teams in this series, and that starts with Christian Walker. And he is a guy that can generate a lot of home runs. He has 20 this year. I think he's going to add 2 more to that total after this series is done and over with. So Otani 2 homers, Christian Walker 2 homers this weekend. What about you,
that's a
Jay?
good pick. That's a good pick, Christian Walker. I like that one. For my first one, I'm gonna go with Gleyber Torres with 3 versus the Kansas City Royals. Torres has been so far, I think, from all the hitters of the Yankees, the best hitter on the Yankees right now. That's saying a lot right now, basically how bad the team is. And for my second pick, I'm gonna go with Kyle Tucker with 2 home runs. He's a sneaky player. He's real good. I think he's going to be playing against the A's, so I think he can get like 2, 3 home runs there. I'm gonna go with 2, but like
Mm,
that's a perfect matchup for him.
Christian, or I said Christian Walker, Kyle Tucker. That was another name that I was looking at. But the only thing I would say like that in the I don't know what it is. Astros whenever they take on the A's, like the A's always like at least steal 1 game from them. I don't know what it is, but Astros certainly not the team that they were last year. I wish we took them on, last year. This team that we took on last year. You know what I mean? I can't speak. Like I
Yeah,
said, it's been a long day. Hey, it's been a long day.
yeah,
Um, I've been, yeah, yeah. Um, but yeah, trivia question for she.
Yeah, I have a trivia question. We know Barry Bonds have the most homers in baseball history. With yeah, Barry Bonds has the most home runs in baseball history. Who has the second most home runs in baseball history? I'm gonna go with A, Babe Ruth, B, Hank Aaron, C, Albert Pujols, or D, Willie Mays.
Oh, oh, wait. I'm going to say B, Hank Aaron, confidently here.
Yeah, you're correct. He's
Okay.
second with 755 homers.
Yeah, Hank Aaron, all that man did was hit home runs, bro. He was a power machine. Uh, it doesn't have the record for like the longest home run distance, like
Yeah, I think he
508
does.
feet.
Yeah,
508 feet. Dude.
It's crazy.
It's
That's
insane.
crazy.
That's insane, bro. I don't know. I don't know when like they decided like taking like PEDs in baseball like should be a thing, but maybe Hank Aaron, maybe he was just built different, bro. Because 580 feet. Are you kidding me, bro? Like that's crazy. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
that is crazy.
But,
So that
yeah,
concludes Stickball Central. Next week we're gonna talk about another matchup, do dingers as again, and then other trivia questions. Some spicy matchups. Hopefully next weekend to talk about.
absolutely, absolutely. G, thank you for Sickball Central this week. And if you're still listening, uh, you know, episode 3 of We Hate More Sports. This is a podcast. Is the baby brother of We Hate Sports. We cover every sport that is not football and basketball here. So obviously, if you're a wrestling fan, if you're a baseball fan, if you're a tennis fan, if you're a pickleball fan, if you're a swimming fan, and something significant happens in that sport, we will cover it here. So make sure you go and follow us on all of our socials. Okay, so I bring up the fact that this is, my second child. You know what I mean by child. I don't actually mean that. I don't have kids. Just to clarify, I don't have any kids. I don't have any baby moms. I don't have any of that. But if I did, these would be my 2 kids. And since this one is still it's premature. Well, not premature, but it's still in its infant days. Um, I do want to go back and look at some of the old baby takes that we used to have on We Hate Sports. You know, we've had We Hate Sports now for ever since the end of 2020.
Yeah.
So it's been a minute. Been 3 years. 3 years. We've had We Hate Sports. There's bound to be at least one bad take from everybody on that podcast. We've had a lot of people come and go through it. Um, Gianni, I'll let you start. Because I know there's one in particular that we were talking about before we started recording that you really want to bring up. Um,
Yeah.
that needs to be bring up again because it is pretty funny.
One of the hot takes that was like the worst, honestly, was when TK said that Teddy Bridgewater was an MVP candidate.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, yeah, I don't know what he was thinking
Oh man,
saying that.
Teddy Bridgewater as an MVP candidate. Um, Now, this was when the Broncos were still undefeated too. I think they were like 3-0 to start the year.
Yeah,
And they had just destroyed the Cowboys. This man, cars, this man TK. I'm not gonna use the government. He hates that shit. TK, this man TK really went on a limb and said that Teddy Bridgewater was going to win MVP, and that just don't sit right with me. That just don't sit right with me. I don't think it sit right with anybody. While we're on the topic of TK, I want to bring up the fact that this man said that Ben Simmons, Ben Simmons, at the beginning of before the beginning of the basketball NBA season this season, was going to hit more threes than Tyrese Maxey.
my God, that was I don't know what TK was thinking. TK was on something that day. Unbelievable that take.
Like, I don't even have I don't even have words for that, bro. He wants to say that, oh, you're Charlie. TK. I looked him dead in his eye and told him to tell me what he said with a straight face, and that man said it with a straight face. You can go back and watch. You could go back and watch, bro. Go back and watch it TikTok. It, bro. That's insane. Like that's insane to me. That is insane to me, bro. It's insane to me.
Yeah, that was
Um,
crazy.
that one was pretty bad. Um, going back
I
now. Oh yeah, no, go ahead.
I think I think Sean said something about the Giants being the Eagles in the playoffs. Remember that he picked them
Uh,
against us.
and
I
then
think
they lost to us 3 times. Yeah, I remember that.
yeah, yeah.
I
I think
remember
that
that.
was that was like that was embarrassing because he got everything wrong first, and they got destroyed. They didn't even had a chance. I think the game was over. All the games were over the first 5 minutes of the game. So like, yeah, that was awful, honestly, because we were the
Um,
better team.
speaking of Sean, just keep going on the topic of just bad takes in general. He does looking back at TikTok now where Fred said that Georgia wasn't going to make the college football playoffs this
Yeah,
past year. Now they have a
that's
chance to
crazy.
three-peat. It's funny. Then now to be this one was a hot take. It was a hot take for sure. Um, I don't know. Yeah, that one was just outrageous. That was him trying to create a viral moment. That one wasn't
I
going to
I
stick
think
right
he
there.
also said that Florida was going to make the playoffs or something. I don't remember if that was like exactly he said.
Yeah.
But
Oh
yeah.
no, he said that Anthony Richardson was going to win Heisman. He did say that. He did
Oh
say
yeah,
that,
that was awful. Honestly, I think
bro.
that was yeah. I
Bro,
don't know, man.
this shit is ridiculous. Um, there's bound to be there has to be a few more in here that we could go over. Um, I mean, anytime that Tolu tries to cheat, and we trivia,
Yeah,
it's not really a bad take, but it's a funny take to say the least. Um,
and
but
it's obvious he actually cheated during it because you could see the screen. Really,
mm, uh, there's the time that Dan Orlovsky um told everybody that Justin Fields was going to end up taking or winning MVP. I
oh, that
believe it was this
was
past season.
yeah. It was
Um,
this past season. I think
that it
I think he said it when the Bears were like 3-9 or something like that.
Yeah, no, yeah, no, it was like it wasn't even that the time when they were 2-1 because they were 2-1 at one point that year.
Yeah, they
Um,
were.
and everybody thought like, oh, like that Justin Fields got to lead in the Browns land. Like, I think they like ended up finishing the season like 1-13 or something like that.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, yeah,
yeah. They only
it's just
won.
fun.
Yeah, they won like I think they only won like 4 games. If I'm not mistaken. That's crazy. Honestly,
Or I
after
believe it was either 3 or 4.
yeah, it was three or
It
four.
was around that number. Let's dive deep into the Instagram for we it's towards WHS underscore podcast if you're not following, by the way. Just to find some I don't want to say actually you don't want to say bad takes, just old bad interesting takes that we used to have. Um man,
We need to find bad total take,
I mean
right?
Tolu has a
If it
bad take
flows.
every week. I mean that's easy to do.
Okay, more connection.
He does. Let's be real. He has a bad
Yeah.
take every week. I think what he's this past week he was talking about the fact that Um, he wanted to talk about LeBron because one of the questions this week was, which LeBron is more iconic, 6 or 23. And anyone who knows Tolu is a proud Bronsexual. This man wants to go on a 10-minute tangent about his king. And just it wouldn't make it on the podcast because I mean every single time this man either talks about LeBron James or Lamar Jackson, he tried bringing up Lamar in like the top three
Yeah,
quarterbacks rings on Madden, even though he named or
yeah, that was
tried to name
ridiculous.
five. Like it's just crazy. It's insane. It's
Oh,
insane.
PC,
Um,
you know what? I remember a take from Tolu. He was saying that Bronny James was going to win a championship in USC or something like that.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that
Well,
that
I'll keep the jury. I'll at least keep the jury on that one because at least that one hasn't happened, or I don't think
yeah,
it's gonna happen, but it's a possibility. But yeah,
yeah,
that one
maybe in
was
the
pretty
future,
bad.
maybe. Yeah, but like I don't think in year one they're winning, but they probably make the tournament and probably make it to Sweet 16 maybe if everything goes well. Yeah,
Yeah, no, there's yeah, the old episodes I used to have. We've grown a lot.
yeah,
Like looking back at the old videos, we've grown a lot since then. And like, with the even with this podcast, just know all of us, including myself, are all still learning. Um, just how to make this run fluently, um, how to give y'all the quality content that you deserve, the people that do listen to this podcast. And um, it's it's funny. Um, you know, some of the old takes that we used to have, just the quality that we used to have. I think everything a lot has changed since the Christmas 2020. So yeah, we'll have to come back to this one. We'll have to hopefully write down some bad old takes that we used to have.
yeah.
Um, and I do want to you should write this down for me, G, so I don't forget. Um, I do want to go over um for 2025. I want to make some predictions for 2025. Some
Okay,
hot
predictions
takes
for
for 2025. Yeah,
that
that'd be
would be
really
it. Yeah, that would be cool. Honestly,
that'd be interesting. All right. Um, there isn't really much else to go over this week. I don't really have anything for anything else for wrestling. So, it's been a pretty quiet week. I think we're getting prepared for SummerSlam. SummerSlam's coming up in August. You have Great American Bash for NXT as well. For AEW All Out, Blood and Guts, that was a success. Double or Nothing as well. Um, you know, there isn't really anything that I want to talk about this week. Next week, um, hopefully next 2 weeks, we should have some guests in store for this podcast. So stay tuned for that. Um, let's go to the best thing I saw last week. Um, so this past week, I'm sure everybody and their moms has seen it. NPC girl on TikTok. Gianni knows what I'm talking about, especially. It's probably one of your
yeah,
baby moms. She's one of your baby moms, is she?
not really. I don't think so.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Bro, you have like 20. You have like 20.
Yeah, I lost track.
This is how she makes her money because you don't pay child support. Anyways, you know, NBC girl, ice cream so good. Ice cream so good. She makes like 6K off of one live of doing that. I did not know that NPC NPC talk is like actually a kink for people.
Yeah, it
And
is.
I didn't know like that was a thing until I saw this live of this girl making a lot of money doing what she does. and she does really well. Like if you've seen like any like video on the for last week, like she does it really well. She has a kid that sometimes like interrupts her lives, and she like has to like tell him like to go upstairs, and she's right back into like her act of NPC land. Like it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah,
But now everybody and their
yeah,
moms does it. And it's actually annoying as hell. Because there are a lot of people that are really, really bad at it, and there are actually ones that are like really good at it. But now everybody is trying to act like an NPC. Um, and this was all in like a span of like 2 or 3 days that like I saw this on TikTok. But the reason I say it's the best thing I saw last week is because it's crazy that something as stupid as that can not only make you a viral sensation, but can make you a lot of money. I do like to see someone like her get her money.
yeah, it's
She got
crazy.
plenty of DMs from celebrities too. She was talking about it. Like, she didn't say anybody in particular, but mention like people on the sides of like Drake's of the world, Snoop Dogg's of the world, people like that. So really
Yeah,
cool.
it's crazy. It's crazy like how you can make money like from certain things like you do. Like, that is just crazy. In like two
You
or
know,
3 days, really.
yeah. And like a matter of 2 or 3 days, she's become like the top thing that you see on TikTok time. But now I can't stop seeing it on my timeline. I'm not even into that stuff, and like I see it's like every day I go on there now. Um, so yeah, uh, that is the best thing I saw last week. Guys, episode 3. Oh, we have more sports. Sorry that it wasn't really as jam packed as I wanted to make it this week, but uh, I'm tired as hell for one. But also, um, I am prepping. I am prepping. We're prepping. We got some big things, some big changes coming to not only this version of the pod, but We Hate Sports as well. And some special guests lined up in the future. Trust me on that. So stay tuned. Um, we'll be back next week for episode 4 of We Hate More Sports. Um, trying to get a key guest on for next week to be determined, TBD on that. But Gianni will be back as well. Uh,
Yeah.
Desi most likely be back as well too. And we will all see you as well as the rest of the crew for episode 133 of We Hate Sports. Next Wednesday for you guys, where we'll be back here next Monday recording. But make sure you go follow our socials, uh, WHS underscore podcasts on Twitter and Instagram, and We Hate Sports on YouTube and TikTok. Call a loved one, check up on them, tell that you love them, and stay hydrated because it is still hot as hell outside.
Yeah,
We're in the
it's so
dog
hot.
days of summer. It is so bad. So, I for anybody that has work outside, trust me, I understand your pain. Especially in Jersey. It's been humid. It's been hot. Drink water. It's good for you. I promise. Take care of yourselves. Um, and just a reminder, e-gaming matters. So I have to give a quick shout out to CAD crew. Shout out to y'all. Make sure you go and follow everyone that I'm about to mention in the following order: twitch.tv/Rigby314, Tiana Visuals, our Visuals, King Sack, Bon Apple Titty, Cybergaya, and God Garrett King. Love y'all. I love everybody that listens to this podcast. Um, yeah, gee, you want anything? I got nothing else.
No, I got
I'm
nothing
pooped.
else.
I gotta go
Yeah,
eat. I gotta go shit. I gotta go shower.
yeah. There you go. Just chill, watch some baseball.
He likes baseball.
Yeah.
All right. Goodbye, everybody. Take care. We'll see you
Yeah.
in episode 4.